The mother placed her newborn daughter in a trash bin. Just as she was about to close the lid, she suddenly remembered something. She then put the ring on her hand into the bin. She did this out of desperation. Her husband, who favored sons over daughters, wanted to sell the baby girl to save her daughter's life. She hid her in the trash bin, but as soon as she left, a CEO, who was visiting the village for poverty relief, arrived. The CEO was discussing the relief plan with his assistant, when suddenly they heard the sound of a baby crying from the trash bin nearby. They thought they might be hearing things, but when they opened the bin, they saw a newborn baby. The assistant called out for a while, but no one came to claim the baby, fearing that the child might be stolen by bad people. The kind-hearted CEO decided to take the baby home and adopt it. Meanwhile, the husband was questioning the woman about where she had hidden the child. To protect the baby, the woman lied and said the child had died. She thought this would make her husband stop asking questions, but the wicked mother-in-law said that even if the baby was dead, it needed to be brought back and burned, so that the next child born into the family would be a boy. The husband actually believed this absurd notion, but no matter what, the woman refused to reveal the whereabouts of her daughter. 20 years later, the girl who was adopted had grown up. She had inherited her adoptive father's wealth and become a billionaire CEO. The first project she took on after taking over the company was the demolition project in Shuayan village. Her adoptive father also told her the truth about her past. This was a perfect opportunity for her to find her biological parents. After learning about her true identity, she wanted to know why her biological parents had abandoned her. So, she decided to go to Shuayan village the next day. Little did she know, her mother had suffered greatly over the years because of her. Even though she had been missing for 20 years, her mother still celebrated her birthday every year with her older daughter. The older daughter, knowing their father and grandmother's nature, advised her mother to put away the celebration items. Otherwise, if their father saw them, he would beat them again. But just as she finished speaking, her father and grandmother barged in. Seeing the cake on the table, the husband assumed she had stolen money to buy it. He even scolded the older daughter. The grandmother also berated the woman for not being able to bear a son, blaming her for not continuing the family line. If it hadn't been for the village head's intervention back then, they would have kicked her out long ago. The grandmother's instigation only made the husband angrier. He grabbed the cake off the table and was about to throw it out. The wife hurriedly tried to stop him, explaining that she had saved every penny to buy the cake. But her explanation only infuriated her husband further, as he blamed her for giving birth to a daughter, preventing the birth of a son. The older daughter, fearing her mother would be beaten, said her mother just wanted to commemorate their lost daughter. But the grandmother told her to keep her mouth shut. The husband then threw the cake onto the ground. Although the grandmother said that the younger daughter had probably frozen or starved to death long ago, the mother was certain that her little girl was still alive. Meanwhile, the younger daughter sped up the demolition project. She instructed her assistant to ensure that the demolition could only proceed after the entire family had signed off. Soon, the matter was brought to her mother's household. Since the mother refused to sign the demolition contract, she was once again pressured by her husband and mother-in-law. Just then, the younger daughter pushed open the door. Seeing her mother lying on the ground, she quickly helped her up. The mother suddenly noticed the ring on the girl's hand, which had the character May engraved on it. Realizing that this could be her long-lost daughter, she grabbed the girl's arm and checked for the plum blossom birthmark. At that moment, the mother and daughter finally recognized each other.